everybody and welcome back to my channel. In today's video I create one of the twins from The Shining, and while creating her I also share some facts about the movie to you guys that not many people actually know, so it is quite interesting. It is a very iconic movie, everybody loves it, so I thought it would be a great idea to do this for you guys. Me currently is the last version that I show you. I do show her alive as well, so keep on watching, and if you are interested in knowing more about the movie, also keep on watching. Before we jump into the video, don't forget to check out my Instagram page where I have uploaded basically every single day, 5 times a week, and so there's always something for you to see. And also don't forget to subscribe and turn the notification bell on. Without further ado, let's get into it.
Hold me close till I get up.
Okay, so the first product we're going to start with is foundation, which I'm going to go ahead and use the NYX Can't Stop Won't Stop. And while I put the foundation on, I'm going to start with the first fact, which it's actually kind of like a 2-in-1, and that is Danny Lloyd, that played the little kid, didn't actually know that he was in a horror movie. They told him that he was in a drama movie. The whole time he thought he was in a drama movie, which I get, he was only, I don't know, I think he was like 6. And I suppose it's understandable that if you saw 2 girls just standing in the hallway, like, you wouldn't know any different, because he actually didn't see those scenes. They took him off set during all of the like scary bits, so he actually never saw any of that until he was about 10 years old when he actually watched the film. And in saying that, Danny actually quit acting. He went and tried to do a normal life until he came back and appeared in the movie called Dr. Sleep. So yeah, I guess like when he actually saw the movie, he got scared. The next fact is Jack Nicholson, which is like the father, the main character of the movie. For him to actually get into character, which is like that like torture sort of state, he literally ate cheese sandwiches 2 weeks prior to the movie, and he hates cheese sandwiches. While I understand it would make you literally frantic, like eating the thing that you hate for 2 weeks, but that is honestly so much dedication to your character. And it did work. Him eating his most hated food did put him in the perfect agitated state for him to do his role. So I'm going to go in with the NYX Can't Stop Won't Stop concealer now, and this is in the shade Vanilla, and I'm just placing this where I usually would. This concealer is actually really good. I honestly really love the doe thread applicator as well. You get so much product on it. And then this here, I'm just blending in with a beauty blender. Another fact is Shirley Duval, I think that's how you pronounce her name. She actually, the director of the movie Kubrick, went to extreme lengths to actually make her feel so isolated on set that it affected her mental health, and she lost her hair over it. Like, that is so excessive. I would hate for that to happen, and to actually make yourself, well, she didn't make herself, and for the director to actually make her feel isolated is Like, why? I feel like there's a lot of things that happen in the movie industry, like between the cast and the directors and all that no one actually sees. And I just feel like some of it's questionable. I'm just going to also use a little bit of that NYX concealer as a base as well for the eyeshadow. I'm not going to go and use the P. Louise because I'm not going to do a like outrageous eyeshadow look. These girls have pretty basic makeup, so we're just sticking in those guidelines. So next I'm going to take the nude sticks in Bondi Bay and the Morphe Cross Maddie Zalaga collection. This is in Peach Out for the cheek tint, and I'm just going to go ahead and pop them on. And in interviews, Shelley didn't really get into much detail about it either, but she did say that the movie was a hell to be a part of, and like, I wonder why. They done it. They honestly made her feel so isolated. I don't think anyone would want that. And it definitely wouldn't be fun. So the man that actually like came up with the story is Stephen King. Everyone knows him. He's iconic. He has so many horrors and he wrote all the books. Now, he actually wrote a script out for this movie and the director didn't like it, and he ended up taking on somebody else to do the movie script instead of Stephen King himself. Which, I don't know if that's weird in itself or not. But in the end, Stephen King didn't like the movie. He said that there was no like emotional investment with the family. It apparently, according to him, it just wasn't like the book. Another thing that was kind of interesting was that the production took 250 days to film. That is 13 months. And originally they were actually only meant to have 100 days of filming, but it ended up being 250. And that was all because Kubrick was never really satisfied with a scene and he would reshoot everything countless of times. Like, for example, the scene with like where Shelley had to swing the bat on the stairs to Nicholson, they had to shoot that 100 times. That is how many retakes that Kubrick would do. Next, I'm just going to take the Australis Fresh and Flawless in light beige and just put that all over my face. And another thing that had a lot of retakes and a lot of time to film was the Here Johnny's scene. That took 3 days for them to film, which that's a lot to film one scene. They got Nicholson to break down 60 doors, and every time that like he broke a door, the production would have to get a new one ready straight away and set it up. I feel like that is just, that's a lot of doors. I'm just going to enhance the contour with the Suiva palette, and I'm just enhancing it a little bit just around like my temple and my cheekbone, and then just under my jaw, just a little bit. And then grabbing the Morphe blush range, I'm going to take Witty, which is this one here, and just lightly dust it on this blush here just to help it come to life a bit more. Now for the eyeshadow, we're not going to go all out with it, so I'm going to take the ColourPop Disney collection, and to start off with I'm going to take the shade called Triton, and I'm just going to place this all over the lid. There's nothing we're going to do really with the eyes, just put a little bit of colour. And then I just grab a fluffier brush and I just buff out those edges. So like I said, we don't want it too out there, we want it more natural, but it's nice to have a little bit of colour there. And then I'm going to take the shade called Beast, and just on a very smaller brush I'm just putting this on the outer corner of the eye, and then when there's not much product left on the brush I just push it inwards just to help blend it through, and then just going back in with that first brush and just buff it out as well. And then just like that we've got that little bit more dimension. And another thing that took them a fair few tries to film as well is the part with the hotel cook. His name is Scatman Crothers, I'm pretty sure that's how you pronounce it. And it is where he sits down with Danny and he talks about his deceased grandmother. So he's actually, well, he was an unexperienced actor, and the reason why he took on the job was because he was friends with Jack Nicholson. And that scene there took him 148 goes, and it actually drove Scatman to tears, and he asked the director what he wanted, as anyone would. If you're an unexperienced actor, it would be so hard, and the 148 takes of that scene broke the world record. So I have just mixed like a blue and a white together just to create a lighter blue, and it's fun when you mix on the back of your hand. And we're just going to blend this all in. I'm not taking it too far up around the neck area either, and because this is a lighter blue, it does take time to build up, so I'll be back. So now that that blue is dry, I'm going to go and take the mirror on edge with the white, and we're basically, so now we're just going to go ahead and use the white to fill in the dress. It's just like frills around the neck and just lines straight down. So another thing is the director Kubrick, he also got lost in the maze. At the start he was actually concerned that the maze was too easy to solve, so the crew actually challenged him to go through it, and guess what happened? He got lost. And he wasn't the only one either. Where like Jack chases Danny throughout the maze, they also got lost, and it took a month for that scene to be filmed because the crew and everyone kept getting lost in the maze. In the book as well, it's actually, the room number is 217, but the Timberline Lodge actually requested them if they could change the room number to something that actually didn't exist, which was 237, as they were worried that, you know, they wouldn't actually get any customers in the 217 room due to the movie, which honestly is pretty smart to change, because I feel like not everyone would want to stay in that room if it was called 217. I sure wouldn't. I would dodge any room around it. Another thing is the paper that has the words written, I think it's like all work and no play makes Jack a dull boy, I think, something like that. Pretty sure it's something like that. Kubrick's secretary actually come up with that. She wrote that line out over and over again over 500 different pages, and that was in English only. After that, she actually then went on and done it in 4 other different languages, which, can you imagine writing that out? Because I can't. Next, I'm just going in between the lines. I'm not really doing every line, but I'm just throwing some dots in. And I'm also not being like super cautious on where I'm putting everything. So this blue that I've used, I don't actually really like it because when you try to shadow under it, it cracks. So it's not the greatest, but we're just gonna have to go with it. So I'm just going to start shadowing the clothing and just add in a bit of depth to it. Doing this honestly like helps change the whole look. So I'm also just putting a couple of creases, just light ones, down here. And then these ones here, I'm just grabbing a fluffy brush and buffing them out so they aren't too harsh. And then I'm also just gently buffing out these corners and just under here. And then that will just help give that shadow effect a little bit more. The other thing I like to do on a fluffy brush is just grab some black and I just put it up here at the top of the collar, as that usually shadows from where the hair is. Alright, so that is all done. I feel like I'm going to leave my hair in plaits. I feel like it gives more of that kitty vibe. So I'm actually going to be doing 2 photos for this for Instagram. So I'm going to do a normal one and then another one which you're going to see very shortly. Okay, so we are up to the next stage, which is going to get pretty messy. So I have got a towel down here. So what happened to the Red Rum girls is they died by an axe, which was from their father, I believe. So we're going to do that as the next stage. So I've got my latex here, which we're going to use to do an axe cut on the forehead, which I saw in one of the photos. And while I create this dint in my head, or cut, there's 2 more facts left, and one of them is the elevator scene. And if you don't know the elevator scene, it's basically where they open the doors and a whole gush of blood just runs out. And that one scene there literally took them 1 year to film it. Even though they got the shot in 3 takes, each take required 9 days for them to clean the elevator and the hallway that was bloody from all the blood gushing out, and also to fill the elevator back up again of blood. So in the end, it ended up taking them 1 whole year to get all 3 shots. And the last fact is, in the book, it ends with the hotel burning down, which if you haven't read the book, sorry. And then at the end of them shooting everything, a fire actually broke out and burnt all the props down. So they ended up having to rebuild several things, which I don't know if it's a coincidence or not, considering Like, it's weird because it happened in the book and then somehow a fire broke out. I don't know about you, but it sounds weird to me. So that's all for the facts, but I'm going to end this look off here by putting some fake blood on. So I'm going to grab the B9 thick blood, and with my finger first, I'm basically just splotching this around that wound just to make it look a bit more like realistic. And then I'm just grabbing the end of like a disposable tip, grabbing some blood out, and I'm putting it inside this wound. Don't know if you can really see it on camera how like thick it is, but it's so good. And then last but not least, I then grab the stage blood and put this everywhere. I'm putting it all over the clothing, on my head, everywhere. So I have my towel ready to catch, and at the start I'm just swirling it on that end, and I want it not to drip into my eye, so kind of just want it dripping in the wound first. I feel like it's gonna go in my eye there. Anyway, so we're just going to like, I don't know how to do this. Smother it like everywhere, literally. And then just keep going all over the clothes. I do want to like, you know, pour the bottle, but I don't want it to like have a whole heap come out. So now I'm just going to grab my finger and just kind of smear it in certain areas because they are covered in blood if you see the photo. And just like that, that is the easiest part of the whole look. And as always, I hope you guys enjoyed this look. If you did, don't forget to subscribe to my channel and give it a big thumbs up. And don't forget to turn on the notification bell so you don't miss the next upload. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you learned something new about the movie, that is great. It is actually interesting finding out stuff about movies that you don't actually hear on an every day-to-day basis. And as always, I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye!